everyone to another edition of the Dev Chat. Normally it's just me and Derek, but this time we invited someone who calls himself the man with the plan. Leo, can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, of course. My name is Leo. I'm proud to be here. I went to throwback to it, Derek. I went to school, a master's at NIFA, met him over there, and technical producer for this game, and just very excited for everything that we got going on. Just love making games, and love just getting things done. So, but I'm excited, a little bit nervous, not even gonna lie, but yeah, let's do it.
You have one baller background, man. But
yeah. Look at that. How often you play that grand piano back there?
I try to do it at least a couple times a week. You know what I mean? Sometimes I play a little, Beethoven, stuff like that. Nothing.
I'm thinking for someone who's a game developer, usually it's more that you're hidden in a cellar. But Derek surprised me, and now you're surprising me too.
Yeah.
Although I can notice it's a green screen, so probably.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
it can also be how do you call it, a garage? I'm getting more the feeling this game is being built out in a garage, but it's gonna be awesome.
Hey, Apple started in the garage, right?
Yeah. We invited Leo over to introduce another dev. Leo's also going to GDC with Derek. I can say Leo is the one planning everything in Wildcard. Although Derek seems very calm and collective, Leo is the guy that designs the plan. The man with the plan is the bio that I got him for our new website.
For sure.
So let's ask the man with the plan. What do you have in store for Wildcard this week? And can you talk about the updates you pushed already?
Alrighty. So this week with Wildcard, honestly, me and Derek are getting ready for GDC. That's the biggest thing. There's a lot of stuff a lot of big players that we're actually planning on meeting and kind of networking with. A couple of CEOs, presidents, things like that. In terms of the game dev team, just have a bunch going on. We have, I don't know, Derek, you want to add on to that? What are the things that we have going on?
Yeah. So this week, we're heading up on Tuesday. So we're gonna go up on Tuesday morning, drive up. There's a meeting that evening, I think, with the Phantasma folks that we're gonna be in, and then Wednesday, starting from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we've got meetings scattered kind of throughout the day. Already there's some big names. I don't want to spoil anything, but already we got we're already scheduled to meet a guy who's from a company that everybody's heard of. So I know it seems like a teaser, but I kind of don't want to spoil nothing there. But that one is confirmed. But we're gonna have meetings throughout, and the whole idea, right, is to kind of connect with, because it was kind of crazy. I figured that this year we'd be going up there and and into the reality of game developers who are not exactly ready for NFTs, who are not pro NFTs. They're kind of hesitant about that kind of thing, because they tend to think that means pay to win kind of things, right? Pay to win. They've read all the articles about scams and stuff like that. So I was thinking okay, well, we'll probably be the only people there, but it does appear like there's going to be kind of a presence of blockchain games and developers and stuff there. So looking through the expo, there's quite a bit. So the idea is to to go and make connections, communicate with people who are already kind of in this space, make them aware of Wildcard, aware of the offering that we have, and then not only that, but to also like reach out to other game developers who are there, who may not have made that transition, and discuss discuss making that transition, and how smart it would be to come with us wildcard folk to the to the new world of blockchain games.
Derek, you are, as you said yourself, you're quite introvert, but you discussed some of the things that they do at GDC for you, like you can set up meetings in advance, scheduling.
Yeah, it's actually pretty incredible. So I've already connected with one of I connected with one of the other developers who was so we had like a meeting, all the people going up with Phantasma. We kind of had a meeting. Let's see, what was that, Wednesday of this previous? Yeah, I was going to say previous week, but we're still in the week, guys. So it was Wednesday. I think he's the founder of Bloodrune, Sujin. So I already kind of connected with him via this thing. It's really cool. It's like basically all of the attendees, you've got like you can schedule meetings with pretty much anybody who's going to this thing, and they just accept the meeting, the time frame. It's 30-minute blocks, and it makes it really nice. Like we said, like, because I can make a meeting, like once a meeting is set up, then you're like, okay, well, I've got this meeting set up, so like you have a reason to be there. One of the funny things is that it wasn't clear initially, like, so I'm like looking through this, and there's like a booth, and I realized that the booth to meet in was we were bringing them to our booth instead of going to theirs, and I'm like, we should probably have meetings where we go to their booth, make that extra step, but yeah, it's great because I am kind of introverted. I'm used to like, I mean, I'm as extroverted as this is, right? Like I could talk to a computer in front of me, mostly. So it is kind of good that it helps facilitate that process for sure.
Yeah,
and it also allows us to eventually put your guys' schedule out there for the community. Probably leave some time slots available if people are going to GDC, so that they can actually meet you, hang out, have a beer or a Krispy Kreme or whatever Derek is in the mood for at that moment.
Right. Yeah, we're close to the food stall, so we got a good seating location, I guess, because I don't think there'll be anywhere to sit.
That is not good, man. I remember Miami. Being close to the food or beverage stand is usually not a good thing, although you meet interesting people there as well.
Yes, we did.
I have a question from Matt. I'll show it again. How many developers are currently working on Wildcard?
Basically, while us two are going to be gone, I counted it actually when you guys put it up, but there's actually going to be 7 people technically inside of just like that unit, kind of helping build, some of the, more technical parts of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I actually tried to invite Francisco over, but Derek said that's not a good thing. He's too eccentric.
I said that's next week. That's next week.
Yeah, he is too
or
eccentric.
Week out. Yeah.
Miami traumatized me in the way that Alain told us that it was a good thing that we should go to Sunny Isles. And for someone coming over from Europe, when you think about Miami, you're thinking South Beach, you're thinking everything, and then you end up in Sunny Isles. That was quite traumatizing, but I actually we met Karai there, so nice. In the end it was all good.
Yep. So since we got Leo on, let's talk about some of the things that like a game producer does, right? Like what is that job, Leo? What is game producer? Just for everybody who doesn't know out there,
Is it like holding Derek's hand, or does it come more?
It's more so
a little bit of that too.
It's a little bit of everything. It's you're trying to make sure everything's organized. You're trying to make sure everybody's on track. You're also kind of being, you know, a little bit of therapy here and there, you know, some emotional intelligence required, you know, also, you know, just getting things organized, asking the tough questions, you know what I mean? And making sure that everybody's, you know, consistently in communication, all that stuff. You know, reports. I love reports, Excel spreadsheets, making sure, you know, all that stuff, you know, all in one role. And you know, it's something that I've always loved doing. You know, I'm very glad that I'm able to, you know, utilize, you know, all my skill sets in order for, you know, Wildcard. And I think, you know, since I've come on, we've grown tremendously. I mean, when I came on, it was just Derek, Karai, and Sava, I think, for the most part. And then we're just like, you know, ballooning out a little bit just in terms of like, you know, what we need to happen. And now we're just like, you know, like the other day, we just did like a risk, you know, management assessment just to make sure that, you know, everything that we have is like covered and that we have, you know, all these different things lined out. And, you know, I love when we can brainstorm as a team and have, you know, solutions to answers that, you know, otherwise we'll just be left in the dark until launch. And now we don't have that. So.
Right. Yeah, it's like that it is one of the biggest, most important tasks, right? Because obviously there are a lot of moving parts even within a small game studio like ours, even within one that's like 8 or 9 people. Like there's a whole bunch of different things, like is everybody on task, like what this person is doing, like just, and even getting people to like communicate across, you know, because you don't want to be, you know, it's important to have those moments where it's like you're not just working in a bubble and then you realize that the thing you did doesn't work with anybody else and then it just completely collapses and stuff. And as we get further and further, it's going to be only more increasingly important, right? As we progress towards a live game, we have it out there, like people are playing it, and you know, like we have to like do unit testing, all those kinds of things too, because you know, you don't want to push something live that just breaks the game. That would be the be all end all, right? So so it's definitely like it was great bringing Leon on to really really take care of that and really like lead the charge of like keeping everybody on task and lead those stand-up meetings. So speaking of stand-up meetings, just so everybody knows, let's talk about what a stand-up meeting is so it's part of Agile development, right? There's 2 different types of development primarily, right? Agile and Waterfall. What are those?
So basically, waterfall, and I might butcher this, but
That's
waterfall
fine
is essentially as if you're gonna, you know, basically nobody talks until the project's done. You know what I mean? So you're kind of planning all of these big features out, and basically you're kind of like working. I think the best metaphor is like you're trying to build a car right off the bat. Versus Agile is more so like, let's try it to fit, you know, let's try to make transportation happen. So we're going to start with, you know, a skateboard. Okay, cool, that worked. Let's upgrade to a bike. Okay, kind of improving from there, so that you kind of end up at the car versus just starting off with just trying to make a car in the first place. And I think what the good part about Agile is that it makes us more flexible as a team. We're able to, you know, have, you know, look at where we're at, especially if you think about this game as more of a service, which we are, you know what I mean? We're in games in a service business. I think Derek, you've mentioned that multiple times before. But because of that, you know, we have to kind of see ourselves as, okay, you know, how are we, you know, continuously updating our bugs and, you know, seeing the bugs and making sure we squash all of those, you know, bugs. That way, you know, people that are playtesting are actually getting the feedback out. And then the second part is also implementing new features. And how do you balance the time difference between the two throughout, you know, the course of 1 week with a small development team already trying to plan a crazy project, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, that's the difference. And so I think, you know, the Agile method is definitely the way, you know, way more into it. But that's like just the short version of it.
Yeah. So Agile really kind of comes from something that they an OODA loop, right, which is something that was kind of developed for fighter pilots. And the idea is that, and I hope I don't butcher this either, but the idea is this. The idea is that you want to, it's better to make a bunch of quick decisions because if you keep making quick decisions, you're doing so with the most up-to-date information. Then saying like, okay, I'm going to take in all of the things that I know, I'm going to really think about it, and I'm going to try and make the best decision. Obviously, obviously this applies to being a fighter pilot, right? Because you want to like make a quick decision. You don't want to like really sit on it and think about it, because that could be detrimental. So it kind of came from that, the concept of these OODA loops. And the idea is that you are making then decisions with the most up-to-date information at all times. And so we really attribute it in a lot of ways, like for us, that's like finding a solution, right, that is maybe you go for the quickest solution first, right? You go for like to get this thing to work, right? And that's kind of what you go for. And it may not be the best. It may not, maybe it would be a better way to code. There's definitely a better way to code it, almost always. Most definitely. But you go for like something that works in a rather quick manner, so that then you can like take it in and you can say, okay, what works about this, what doesn't, and then you can just alter that. And it is, again, this stacking things on top of one another and progressing through development that way. Yes, and I don't like Mac builds. I see that down there. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask about it, because you said we're building things that work, but you had some issues with the Mac build this week.
Yeah, so this is one of those things where it's like, and it's kind of like, so one of the things that we use is Firebase, which is a Google product, right? And then we also are doing like Mac builds, an Apple product, and just sometimes these companies don't really consider one another as well as they should, I would say. But basically, like, yeah, we do a build like and like everything works, everything's fine with like the Windows version. Then we realize like nobody can log into the Firebase from Mac, and so we're like rushing around to like figure that out. But again, this is because we added in that kind of version lockout system, which these are things that we keep adding, and it's good to have this time where we can like add them, and then we can see how they work, and now that we know about this issue, then we can kind of move on from here, right? So fortunately, we're not public yet, so it's a good time to have these issues, is before that time when you can really test them.
All right, Leo, I'm going to ask you a very direct question right now. You being the game director, how are you feeling about the 6th April MVP launch?
6th April MVP launch?
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. We have a lot of capable people on the team. That's just it alone, right? We have very competent people on the team. We have everything kind of mapped out, planned out. We're going to have weekly, actually daily stand-up meetings. It's going to be a thing, coming, closer to the launch. So we're just going to constantly, like, we know what we have to get, you know what I mean? There's in project management, basically, there's like different ways of, changing the scope or, other aspects of the project. And I think one thing that we stuck to is that we're hitting that deadline, you know what I mean? And the things that we roll out, basically making sure that we get, like you said, that MVP out, or I know, Derek, there's another term for it that's probably better for it, but, getting that minimum, just that loop that we're looking for down, and then basically starting to add on to it, of course, like, first couple of weeks, and even the month after, and continuously adding more onto the features. But I'm very confident about it. I think we got a great team, and I think we can definitely do it.
For sure.
Yeah, that's I think also the Agile explanation. You mentioned, like, Derek and the team, you can build it out consistently.
Yeah. And I mean, really, like, yeah, we are saying kind of MVP launch, right? Like meeting that minimum by that date, and then building these systems kind of on top of it. Just because once we get to a certain point, right? The key thing is to make sure that we have a game that something that's tight, that doesn't have many issues with it, right? And then we can kind of stack upon that, do private testing of that, and then release it to kind of the public, that kind of concept, you know. But yeah, like MVP, just so people know, is minimum viable product, right? Did we say that, or I think you said minimum viable product, right? We said that or no? Right. Anyway, that's what it is called,
Yeah.
minimum viable product. Yeah, there's a book that I like that has the different versions of that. So they have like minimum viable product, they have like minimum desirable product is the other one. That's the one that like for instance the marketing is focused on, right? But the developers really usually like want the MAP, the minimum awesome product. So once we have the minimum viable product, we'll be working towards the minimum awesome product, right? Which is the thing that makes you go like, it is the thing that meets the vision of what it's supposed to be, where you can at least kind of see that, right? Right now, I think we can see little hints of what it's supposed to be, but it isn't quite to that yet in the version that's been released to everybody. There's a lot of so like the idea is that you have like an on ramp, right, and then you have the game, and then you have a kind of off ramp. And with the off ramp, it is supposed to intention you to like loop back around, right? So something that actually takes you from the off ramp, right, all the way back around to wanting to play again. And that loop is kind of the minimum loop that you would want, right, in a product. You want to have that incentive for retention, the incentive to play again. And that is, of course, going to be like leveling up, like gaining experience points from this, like something that keeps you going, right? And that is kind of, again, MVP, this is what we're working towards, right? Those things, right? The on-ramp, the actual game, the off-ramp retention layer, right? And then back around. So, yeah.
Yeah, player retention in play-to-earn games right now is an issue. But I think with how we set up our economy, because one of the biggest issues is for Axie is a declining SLP price.
Right.
I think with the game that you guys are designing, which is awesome, the only frustration I have is that I lose every time. But I guess I have to learn. And then having a stable economy, having consistent updates, having multiple seasons, I think we've got the player retention figure out for play-to-earn gaming.
Yeah.
But however, Derek, MVP can be very broad. Like MVP for you could be something else than an MVP for me. Can you explain what the MVP is going to entice when we launch? What can we expect? What is implemented?
So, I mean, again, we're really focusing on those three words, right? Play to earn, right? So some situation in like meeting that, right? You're able to play the game. It's kind of it's enjoyable, right? You make lots of like informed decisions, lots of good like strong informed decisions as a player. Your decisions affect what happens in the game, and then you earn from this. Like specifically right now, we're focusing on the earning through winning. I think that one of the things that Axie is they're shifting to, which I think is a game design problem more than it is an economic problem, because you can solve it through game design, I think. But is this kind of like win to earn is kind of what they're doing now, right? They're doing like kind of like win to earn. And I don't think that, I think that with proper game design, you can find alternatives to that, right? You can find ways in which maybe losing does sometimes win, right? And I think that that is kind of key, because in free-to-play games, right? In free-to-play games, you're still given stuff, even when you die, even when you lose. because that's important for the retention layer. Otherwise you're cutting off half the players, right? Because every time there's a winner, there's a loser. So you do have to focus in both of these people. What is their incentive, right? So just to go back to your question about what is the MVP, it is basically this, right? To where we're going to start where primarily your winning is going to like earn, right? But also, we still have like orb drops and things like that will still happen for people who even lose. But that play to earn is to me the MVP, right?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that losers are gonna earn or have a chance to get some orbs too. So that's good for me and Sarah and all the other ones lower on the leaderboard right now.
Yes. Yeah. No, that will still, like, those things will still drop, right? The other thing, the token stuff, that will be like the win thing, but the orbs will be for both. So yeah, you and Sarah are both low on the leaderboard apparently.
I'm not even on there.
Oh.
But I'm gonna ask another question. Since we have a lot of game devs, I know Karai is pretty good. Who is the best wildcard player within the game dev group? I want you to answer that, Leo. Derek will
Leo's
just
got it.
I mean, Derek's designed the game, but I've been hearing, Karai. Karai is, it's tough competition out there,
Yeah, I'm glad he started working on writing out some guides for the new players, so I can catch up.
That's cool. Yeah. And I think that's like one of the biggest things, like Derek was talking about, the onboarding part, right? I think, continuing to get better, instruction manuals, and then, maybe eventually like some kind of like tutorial that, kind of welcomes the player into the ease of the process, how to build a deck and all that stuff. Like there's so many ways. The beauty about having the games as a service is that there's so many different ways that we can expand upon this game, because the game is our core, product. That's what we're focusing on making great. And we can continue to just balloon it out until, it's basically not just the minimum awesome project, but it's even greater than that. You know what I mean? So it's really cool, just what we got. And I really, really love, once again, this is kind of why I'm glad that, I joined, this team, is because the core focus is the game. We've been play testing already. We have people in the community playing the game. We're getting bug reports. It's fun. And so now it's just continuously finding the fun and expanding upon that. You know what I mean? And of course, launching and getting everything connected in the loop. But we're grounded in that fun, and with that, we can do anything.
Yeah.
I have also seen an interesting new addition. Apparently, there's a new background. When can we see it? I heard you telling about maybe randomizing backgrounds too.
Yeah. Yes, there's a.
Or did I spoil too much right now?
No, it's fine. So there's three backgrounds, right? We're gonna have three backgrounds. There's a third background that is coming along. It is, probably post GDC. It'll be in post GDC. So not this coming week, but the week after, probably.
Is the animator going to work on the background, or am I fishing too much right now?
No. No. So basically, that is, so the backgrounds for the most part are just effects that we kind of have. We do sprite effects for them kind of in game. They're not really animated in the traditional sense. Obviously, the escalators are. The background artist was the one who animated those. But yeah, the new one will have like some like moving, like cool, like kind of some flashing stuff and things like that. But but yeah, like the animator is our new animator is fully like working on character animations right now,
Yeah.
and like those things look like incredible. Like it's looking really, really good. You know, he's doing very good work. He's working on some things that are going to make people who bought in the pre-sale very happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to increase the value of those most likely come game launch, just because the animations look incredible. Cat Fee still looks pretty wrecked.
Ugly.
Like Cat Fee always looks wrecked, but that's kind of the thing about Cat Fee, right? It's kind of frazzled. Frazzled.
So by hearing this, I can safely deduct the fact that the lava lamp will be animated in game, like seeing the lava bubbles, etc. That's
Some
probably
animation. Yes, there will be animation for the pre-sales. Yeah, yeah,
it's good. That's gonna help in the secondary market too.
for sure, for sure.
And that's
Yeah,
good. And
because
that's
it's
good
going to
for me
look
too,
really cool.
because I own two. So I'm excited about it.
It's going to make that money.
Yeah.
Not financial advice, but going to make that money.
No, it sounds really exciting. I am excited for you guys to go up to GDC. I heard you're gonna drive. Can you do me a favor and stop by? I think Clint Eastwood is a mayor in a small village from LA to San Francisco.
Which village is this?
I don't know, man. Him in Gran Torino is like my favorite character out there. I can
you can relate.
to. Yeah. Because you with your. By the way, I love your beer choice. It's not a fancy chocolate IPA right now, so that's all good. Finally, you're getting there. Just a random question again, Leo. Lager or IPA?
Oh, lager.
Yes, good. I like you already, Leo. You're getting up there with Francisco.
Oh, I have to get to Francisco's level.
No. You instantly jumped up. I'm quite sure Francisco is not in the chat anymore, so I'm not getting spammed with like foul words. So it's all good.
That's hilarious.
No, I am. I'm super excited. I'm also excited to see more of the game dev team being. Oh, he's here. I am excited to see more of the game dev team being involved in the community. I know game developers, game players are usually more introvert, but I'm excited to see new faces and introduce new faces. I think it's also important, for the people out there to get a feel who is what, and not just have the standard faces on here. I do want to answer a question Earl asked on a blockchain technical level before, that his browser asked to install MetaMask, but he asked MetaMask, Earl, if you go in MetaMask, there's an internal browser. Please use that one. Don't use your phone's browser. Use the MetaMask, and then it should be good. Also, it's for me Saturday. We're gonna push Wallet Connect today, most likely. That allows you to connect with Trust Wallet, Atom Wallet, and anything out there. So that's just blockchain related questions. Do you guys have anything else you want to share?
I think that's. I mean, I think I've covered most of it. Leo, do you have anything you want to share with the fine folks out there in YouTube land? And
go Wildcard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Eric, I'm slightly disappointed that you didn't want to share a Peroni with me, but I'll take it.
Well, by the time I ship it there, it's probably gonna, it'll be cold and then it'll be warm and then you'll cool it down again. It just won't be the same.
Yeah, true. Anyways, I want to thank everyone who was with us live, who's gonna watch the replay. I want to ask you to please like, share, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification. I want to thank you, Leo, for hopping in.
Of course, anytime.
Of course, Derek, thank you too for being here. And I'm thinking next week we should introduce a new face. Probably going to be Francisco. He is extroverted. And then we have to find a way to convince Kurai, I think. He's been, from what I know, he's been grinding in those hours like the rest of the team. Anyways, thank you guys for hopping in.
Cool. Thank
also,
you, Jasper.
ones watching. I'm going to play the ending screen now, and thank you. See you guys.
Bye, guys.